Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. The USC commitment sweatshirt comes back on once again Wednesday afternoon. Four-star offensive tackle Vlad Dyakonov committing to USC. Now, this kid eerily reminds me of Tobias Raymond coming out in the 2023 cycle. You go back to Tobias Raymond and how we talked about him when he committed to USC, it's going to be, all the same things that we're saying about Vlad. You love what Tobias Raymond brought from a length standpoint at 6'7" with long arms. You love the athlete that Tobias Raymond was. The only thing was, hey, we got to put some weight on the frame. Very similar to Tobias Raymond, where it took 2 years, but it sounds like the lights are turning on for him. I think it'll be very similar for Vlad. You get him in this program, you start getting the weight on him the right way, which I think is really important. You see a lot of offensive linemen coming out of high school that have a lot of bad weight and kind of lack the desired athleticism on the offensive line. I'd rather have guys like Vlad who don't have a ton of bad weight. This is a lean, strong frame that, hey, we love the athlete. Now we're just going to put weight on you the right way. When you get into this USC program with what Benny Wiley's been able to do with a guy like Tobias Raymond, you kind of trust very similar things are going to happen with Vlad as well. Now, getting into Vlad as a player, one, kind of new to the sport of football, and he's already kind of a four-star on some recruiting services. That you like to see that. You like to see that trajectory going in the right direction. Doing some more digging outside of just taking a look at some of the film, he's an Olympic weightlifter. He's snatching weight, he's power cleaning. He's a guy that, and the snatch. I am much of a gym guy, you can probably tell. But what I do know is when you're snatching, you body control, coordination, mobility, all really important things. Vlad has all of that. I mean, you talk about a guy who is almost 6'7" that has tremendous coordination and mobility. It's what you're talking about with Vlad too. And I think the intriguing part when you dive into the film is he does play with some overwhelming physicality. He's not necessarily overwhelmingly big, but has some real play strength to his game and plays with a little bit of that edge. There's a lot to like about Vlad in the development that can take place with him over the next couple of years. And what should make USC fans feel so confident about this one is we're kind of seeing the same thing play out with Tobias Raymond. And we just did an episode on him this morning. Tobias Raymond sounds like he's really starting to break out going into year 3. You just saw a very similar, kind of prospect really blossom within this program. You're kind of hoping for the same thing for a guy like Vlad. Want to get into a little bit of the film, want to talk about where USC is going on the recruiting trail before we get into it. As always, just want to say thank you to you guys and to the USC fans. The USC commitment sweatshirt is getting worn out a little bit, but it's been so fun talking this program, breaking down the commitments, talking about just the overall roster building that's going on. The amount of support y'all have shown has meant the absolute world. Appreciate you guys. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into it. Again, we kind of talked about the physical traits that you like, right? 6'7", 275 pounds, lean frame, but good athlete with good length. Again, has all the things that you can't teach. Hey, we can't teach arm length. You got you either have it or you don't. We can teach a little bit of putting on weight. We can get him in the weight room and get him up to where that frame needs to be. You get into a little bit of the film, and I think it's really intriguing. Obviously, he's the starting tackle, kind of protecting 5-star quarterback Ryder Lyons. And that's probably another thing worth noting is, does this help you with the Ryder Lyons recruitment? Probably. Now, the thing I love the most is what he does, and this is very important. I mean, he is a powerful dude that can climb to the second level. And this is very important in the USC run game, right? USC is going to ask their tackles to pull play side, to pick up linebackers at the second level. Are you a good enough athlete where you can do that? You see that double team, work up to the linebacker, has that athleticism where he can go up and grab linebackers and kind of do what he wants with them. You continue to work through the film, you'll see a variety of different things that Folsom likes to do. Once again, double team, working up to the backer. It's kind of hard to see from this angle, but that's kind of what you're seeing there. You continue to work through it. You see a lot of things you like. Look how quickly he closes the gap between the offensive line spot, getting up to the linebacker and putting hands on the linebacker. And when he puts hands on you, you ain't getting off his block. He's got some tremendous ability to really stay engaged with some of these second level defenders. Pull and play side, Again, very, very important to the USC run game. We love pulling our tackles and guards play side. You have to be able to do it. Does it effortlessly. And again, when he does meet these linebackers at the second level, he is putting them in the dirt. There's a couple of reps on this that I love in pass protection too. Again, I love it because it's like he's not the biggest body, but he play. I mean, like look at how he comes out of his stance here. I mean, he's 6'7". He's not a small, compact guy. Look at the pad level here, and then look at the power. What's that power going to look like when he gets up to 315 pounds? I think that excites a lot of USC fans. And you continue to work through it, and you'll see some really good pass protection stuff too. Folsom likes to run the football, and he certainly can do that. But in pass protection, relatively light on his feet right here. Reactionary quickness, light on his feet, recovering the right way, staying engaged. That's the type of stuff that you don't see a lot of offensive tackles have. Now, getting into the spreadsheet, time to update it a little bit. I think, again, the thing that stands out to you here is look at all the names highlighted in red. I mean, we are sitting here. It's April 9th. We still got a long ways to go in the 2026 cycle. You have 4 offensive linemen committed. You have 4 interior defensive linemen committed. You got 3 edge defenders committed. I mean, the bulk of this class is not only from California, which we've been highlighting, and we love what USC is doing, but it's also the bulk of this class is line of scrimmage guys. This is how you want to build a roster. We knew Chad Bowden would want to do this coming over from Notre Dame. That's how he built the Notre Dame roster. We say it all the time. It's very hard to build your line of scrimmage play through the transfer portal. If you don't hit on enough guys at the high school ranks along the line of scrimmage, chances are you're going to struggle on the line of scrimmage for the next couple of years. Make sure you fill it up at the high school ranks. That's exactly what USC has done. And this offensive line class has the ability to be not only a huge class, but a freaky good class too. You got 4 guys committed already. You are arguably trending for Kenny Pepe. You are certainly trending for Sam Mutu. You are certainly in the top for a guy like Malachi Lee. And Cody Green sounds like USC's got a very good chance to flip him from Oregon. The way I look at it, you already feel good about where this offensive line class is at right now. Can you land 3 out of the 4? And realistically, even 2 out of the 4 that we see who are uncommitted, you land 2 out of the 4 of these guys, you're feeling good about what this offensive line class is going to look like. Now, I do want to talk about one name really briefly that sounds like he might be on commitment watch. Luke Sorensen. Haven't talked about him yet. Intriguing. And if he does commit to USC, we'll throw on the commitment sweatshirt and we'll kind of dive into him a little bit more. He's up to 250 pounds. He's relatively new to the sport of football. Only started playing football as a sophomore in high school. Has a wrestling background. And I'll say this, the last Servite football player that had a wrestling background, his name was Mason Graham. And that worked out pretty well for Michigan. Luke Sorensen intrigues me because he's a guy that is a very good athlete that is making the transition not only to football, but making the transition to tight end. He started his football career as, an edge rusher outside linebacker. Now making the transition to play tight end. He's a dog in the run blocking department. He's a guy that not only is very good at it, but very willing to do so. You can tell he takes a lot of pride in it. And then a pretty natural pass catcher, which was probably the biggest concern. Hey, new to football, new to the tight end position, how natural are you working in the middle of the field and catching footballs? Luke Sorensen is. He might be a 3-star right now. Very intrigued to see what he is after his senior year because the trend is going up. And you've seen that from USC, taking a guy like Vlad, taking a guy like Luke Sorensen, like guys that are trending in the right direction as athletes. I think is another important thing to note with what USC is doing. I'm excited to talk about him if and when he does commit to USC. It sounds like we're not done with the commitments over the next couple of days, so we'll continue to update it as we go. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Again, all the support the USC fans have shown the boys means the world, and we'll talk to y'all later.